Hello, and welcome to another episode of Momentum. I'm your host, Philip Allison. Joining us today is Charley Rhea, a senior majoring in mechanical engineering. Charley, thanks for joining us.
Thank you for having me today.
Well, I want to jump right in. You're involved in what I think is one of the great student groups that we have in the College of Engineering. We have quite a few, but I think this one's really cool, and it's the Engineering Recruitment Leaders.
Yes.
So why don't you tell us a little bit about what that group does?
We actually didn't have a recruitment group for the College of Engineering a few years ago, or the last few years, and so 2 years ago some students decided we needed students to help recruit specifically for the College of Engineering. And so they went, talked to the dean, talked to some people they can get in contact with, and made our organization. And so we talked to prospective students coming in out of high school and try to encourage them to come to Mississippi State and pursue an engineering degree in our Begley College of Engineering and help them decide which one they should do.
So I would imagine it's students from all the different departments within the College of Engineering?
Yes, all the different departments, all majors are represented, as well as different experiences within the college, such as co-op, internship, research, study abroad programs. We try to get the most representation as possible.
So it certainly helps to be knowledgeable about all the different programs and services that the college offers, I would imagine.
Yes.
And do you guys if you have a prospective student that's interested in, say, mechanical engineering, do you try and match them up with an ERL who is in mechanical? Or?
The best we can. Sometimes scheduling kind of does get in the way, in classes and making sure people are available. But the best we can, we do try to make sure the students have a one-on-one with somebody they could connect to the most and have the most experience. They can give them the best insight. And
so, for a prospective student, what kind of things do you guys do with them? Tours, answer questions?
Mainly visits. And so with the setup of Engineering Row, we aren't able to get into the labs of the caliber of equipment and the pricing of equipment and everything. So we actually just give them a tour in the dean's office. And so they learn about our programs, the different options they have, and just kind of navigate through that.
And then in terms of the students that are coming in, prospective students, are you able to kind of help them answer questions about, I don't know if I should do industrial and systems or chemical or things like that?
We go based off of a lot of times the sciences they prefer, and so whether that's physics or chemistry or biology, and we have things for that. And so we really try to go off their interests first and then match what we suggest they do just based off their interest versus they come in and just have something, and a lot of times they do know, but also they may not know. And if they still don't know after leaving, we do encourage, there's a general undeclared engineering you can go to and go through an intro class where all the students, you can learn about all the different engineering majors before you decide. And so at the end of that class, you decide on your major.
Do you see a lot of students that kind of already know what they do want to major in, or?
It's kind of up in the air. It depends on the student. Some students come in and they've known since they were kids what they wanted to do. That was not me. So a lot of students really don't know, and they want something that will produce a lot of opportunity and a lot of options. So we just kind of help navigate that to their interest as well.
Yeah, and I would imagine you're interacting with parents as well.
Yes.
Visits.
Most of the times parents have more of the questions because students, it's a lot of information with the campus tour. They get a little bit overwhelmed, and so we try to make it where they aren't and feel very comfortable, but can answer all their questions. And so usually mama and daddy have a bunch of questions.
Yeah, I would imagine so. And then if there are current students that want to be involved in an organization like the Engineering Recruitment Leaders, what is a good way for them to get involved or help out?
Well, we're actually about to start our application process, and so that'll go live soon. And so that will be on our Engage website. So what used to be OrgSync and now has transferred to Engage, and so our application will be there, and every student can go in, log in through their MyState account, and submit their application.
Are there any requirements? Obviously, I would imagine being an engineering student is one.
Yes, being an engineering student, there is a GPA requirement, and that'll be listed on the Engage site as well. And then we'll just have an application and then an interview process after that.
And then I guess how big of a time commitment is it for you guys? Obviously, you have to go to class. That's important.
Yes.
And
we usually do a requirement of about 5 visits per semester, which isn't really that bad, and then 5 office hours as well. So we also write postcards to students, and so we really try to make sure each student coming in is feeling loved and supported, and so we do that as well.
And I guess about how many current members do you guys have?
We have almost 30 members.
Okay.
So we have a good amount.
Yeah, and then I would imagine sophomores, juniors, seniors.
Yes.
And so if some graduate, obviously you guys can.
Yes, we'll have to
can
fill
in the
those
ranks.
positions for sure.
Okay. Well, that sounds fascinating. We're going to take a quick break. Be sure to stick around, and we'll be right back.
When you're the best, everyone wants to see what you'll do next. At Mississippi State University, our team of world-class rocket engineers is venturing beyond boundaries, building rockets like none before. We're launching a new era of space exploration. We've developed cutting-edge technology that's helping us build a rocket that can travel at 4 times the speed of sound. Fast? Yes. But more importantly, revolutionary. For you and for a space program that produces many of the conveniences we enjoy today. We're shaping your life in ways you never dreamed. What's next? Watch us and see. What drives you? What pushes you forward? Is it an appetite to be the best or a calling to make a difference? For those of us here at Mississippi State University, it's both. We're designing a future where cutting-edge hybrid technology isn't imported from overseas, but exported from our own backyard. We're working toward a day when solutions to energy independence move at 0 to 60 in 5.5 seconds and are as simple as charging a phone. A day when fuel economy and environmentally friendly are viewed as less of a compromise and look more like this. For us, turning heads in the auto industry is great, but living up to the hype is even better. That's because it's about more than simply envisioning the future. It's about getting there. And here at Mississippi State, we know just the ride to take.
Welcome back. We're here with Charley Rhea, who's a senior in mechanical engineering and who's also the president of our Engineering Recruitment Leaders program. We talked a little bit about students coming in and they come in with their parents. And do you guys see a lot of the same questions asked over and over?
We do. We do. We get a lot of how best can I prepare for engineering is one of the ones. So we do encourage students, if possible, to go ahead and continuing those math courses like calculus and physics through high school just to get them prepared for college. But also one of the questions that I always get surprised by is, can I do other things just than engineering? And the answer is, of course, yes. And so you have to have a little bit of time management, but I think most of engineering majors aren't just engineers. They are either in the band, involved in organizations on campus, involved in research, co-op, internship. There's a lot of opportunities, and so it's very manageable to do several things with engineering.
Yeah, one of the statements I've heard once was that without engineering students, there would be no marching band here.
Oh,
because
yeah.
There's so
Oh,
many
gosh,
involved.
yes.
Well, one of the other things that you just touched upon was co-ops and internships, and I know that you have experience with that as well. I believe you co-opt with Airbus in Columbus. Tell us a little bit about that.
So actually I ended up co-oping at Airbus, and it was a really great experience, and I was in the quality engineering department. So basically one great thing about engineering is there's so much opportunity, and so quality is a little bit more of the industrial and systems engineering, and so I was looking at the process of the plant as a whole, and how to alleviate different problems and what were our reoccurring problems and that kind of thing, which is really interesting to me. And we looked at how much money we were spending because of those problems, and so I enjoy that part. But being in mechanical engineering, I didn't realize that was available, just all the different opportunity, and so that was really cool. And I loved being able just to work and take a break from school was also very nice, but then to come back and just realize what we're learning and why we're learning it to apply it to the workplace.
Well, I was going to ask, was it pretty applicable, the stuff that you'd studied in school?
I would say so, for sure.
Was that a whole semester? Did you get to take a semester off for that?
Yes, so it ends up being a year. The idea for the co-op program is you graduate with a year of work experience, and so you do alternating semesters, so you go to school one semester and then go to work and then back to school and back to work until you finish out 3 terms.
Yeah, I would imagine that'd be pretty valuable, being able to graduate and say, well, I spent a year working, you know, out in the field and kind of have learned these things beyond just a classroom setting.
And the great thing about the co-op program is a lot of companies, you leave with a job offer, and even if you don't, then you have that work experience that a lot of people don't have. So it is very, very valuable.
Yeah, and then you also did an internship with Trane in Birmingham. Yeah, tell us a little bit about that.
That was actually in technical sales, and so I was trying to just figure out some different options with engineering, and depending if I want to go something very traditional and technical or a little bit more non-traditional. So this was a technical sales position, and I really shadowed and had a great mentor who taught me about how to take engineering and transfer it to sales.
And how long was that program, that internship?
That was just one summer.
Just one summer. So I guess maybe, is there a difference between a co-op and an internship? Is the length of time or what you do?
Mainly, so the co-ops are a little bit more formal, and so the length of time will be a full year, and an internship is great because it's a short amount of time. Typically in the summer it can go up to a semester, but if you don't really know what you want to do, you can do several internships, and you really can't do several co-ops and graduate within a reasonable amount of time.
Gotcha. Well, did you find an interest in technical sales, or was that one of those things
I
that you did?
It was really interesting. I don't know if I want to start off doing that, but I could definitely see myself eventually doing something like that.
Yeah. Well, you are hoping to graduate next May, is that correct?
Yes.
Do you know kind of what you want to do, whether pursuing a job, graduate school? Have you thought about that?
I'm definitely pursuing a job, and I actually went to the career fair, or the career expo this year, a few weeks ago, which was really great. But I called my dad afterwards and I said, Dad, there's too many options, which is not a bad problem to have. But there just really are. So many companies come to recruit Mississippi State students, and so there's as technical or as non-technical as you want to go. And so I'm trying to kind of navigate where I want to be.
Yeah. Well, you mentioned earlier that you were not really sure what discipline in engineering you wanted to study, and I guess maybe talk us through how you ended up with mechanical.
Yeah, so mechanical is very broad, and that's one of the reasons I really love it. So if you don't really know what you want to do, kind of the most broad are electrical, mechanical, and civil engineering, and they are also qualified as facilities engineers, that you can go and work in facility and kind of do facility maintenance as well. So mechanical is anything with a moving part. I'm a very visual learner, so I love physics and calculus, so I needed to keep that going. But our dean names it, instead of ME for mechanical engineering, as ME as miscellaneous engineering. So it kind of encompasses everything that you want to do. It's our most broad program, and that way I can kind of go into whatever I decide later on, and I don't have to make that decision quite so early.
Yeah, that sounds like a pretty good approach to be pretty broad like that. Okay, well, thanks for joining us. We're really glad to have you here. Remember, you can follow us on social media at MSU Engineering. Thanks for watching.